Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing some reviews of new makeup that I got recently, and as always, I'm going to be brutally honest with no BS. I'm here for you guys, not the brand, so I'm always going to give it to you straight whether I got the products in PR or not. And there are also going to be some surprises in today's video as we go through, so be sure to stay tuned, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so let's start out with the first thing that I got, and that is the new brush line from Morphe. They kindly sent this over to me in PR, and I was so excited. Years ago, I couldn't have cared less about makeup brushes, but I don't know what it is, but I am such a brush nerd now. For some reason, I love trying out new brushes, so when these came, I couldn't have been more excited, and I've been using them all week just to be able to test them out and let you guys know what I think. So I do have some thoughts, some positive and some negative, so we're gonna get into that, but first let me just show you what all of these look like. So these are available at Ulta now. They start at $6 and go up to $16, I think, for the most expensive ones, so they're still really affordable. And they've redesigned these so they're not supposed to shed. They're supposed to be softer and blend smoothly with no streaks. They also claim to have antibacterial properties. So, you know, in the past, I always felt like Morphe's brushes were good enough. Like they were good for the price. They weren't necessarily something that I thought could compete with my higher end makeup brushes, but I felt like they were good. They did the job. I felt like you got what you were paying for. They did sometimes shed a little bit here and there. They didn't always wash up the best. And they weren't quite as soft as some from other brands I have, like BK Beauty. But these new ones, I have to say, are really well done, especially the face brushes. They're so soft and velvety. I can see what they mean about no streaks because the bristles are really densely packed and makeup applies really smoothly with them and it doesn't get in between the bristles. So when you look at the whole lineup, they definitely have way more face brushes than they do eye brushes. The eye brushes are just a few down here at the end. And I mean, they have like 5 or 6 different just foundation brushes alone, and then a whole bunch of other like bronzer, blush, and all different styles. And I would say that's my biggest complaint, is that there's not enough of the eye brushes. And not only is there not enough of the eye brushes, but I also think the size is a factor. A lot of them are just bigger than what I'm used to using, and I have hooded eyes, so this might not apply to all of you, but I don't have a lot of lid space, so I like to use smaller brushes, and these are just really large. So take, for example, their blending brush. This is the M333 Eye Blender. If you compare that to BK Beauty's 202 brush, you can see that the Morphe one is just much taller, and it's also a little bit wider. So when I'm blending eyeshadow, I like the smaller head that's on the BK Beauty brush. And when I was using this, I noticed that like the top of the brush moves, but the bottom kind of stays a little bit more firm. So when I put it against my skin, it just felt a little bit stiffer going back and forth. Like it's just, there's something about it that I feel like is just too long compared to this one. So I'll just give you an example. The other day I was doing my eye makeup. I started out using the M331 brush to apply eyeshadow to my crease. And this is a little bit smaller than the one I just showed you. It's actually a great size. And I like that it's tapered to really get the precision in the crease. But for me, this one wasn't fluffy enough. It laid down the color, but it didn't blend it well because it's just more of a stiff brush. So then I grabbed this other one that I just showed you, the 333, and this one is much larger and it has that long length. It does have the fluffiness I wanted, and it did a decent job at blending out the crease color, but at the same time, it's too large for me to actually apply shadow to my crease. And in that situation, I would much prefer the BK Beauty 202 brush because that one just fits into my crease a lot better. I can't complain about the quality because I think like if I compare it to the BK Beauty, it feels pretty much exactly the same. So I think the quality is good. For me, it's just the shape that I'm not necessarily crazy about. I would like it to be a little bit shorter and maybe not quite as large. And I think this is where Morphe could have expanded the eyeshadow brushes a little bit more and maybe made some for hooded eyes. And they may do that down the line. This could just be their initial core offering, and then they'll create some more in the eye category. But a few brushes that I did like for eyes, the first one was the M301, and this was a really small flat paddle brush. I loved the size of this. I was able to pack on a deeper color on my outer lid, and it fit perfectly into that area. And they also have larger versions of this one too, the 302 and 303. So if you don't have hooded eyes and you have more lid space, or you just want to apply the shadow over a larger area, like your entire lid, I think those would be perfect for that. And then once I had that color down, I used the M332 brush, which is a flat brush, but it's also fluffy, and it's a perfect medium size. It's not too large or too small, and I was able to kind of lay that on its side and seamlessly blend out that deeper color. And this brush is a little bit more firm too, so I felt like it did a great job at blending out that deeper shade without patchiness. And at the same time, it kept the color right in that area. I don't think this is fluffy enough to use in and above my crease area though. I would more use this one for what I used it for, basically just to blend out a color in a smaller area. And it was perfect for that. So those are some of my thoughts on the eye brushes. And then as we go throughout the video, I'm gonna be showing clips of me using some of the face brushes, and those are definitely my favorite. I would highly recommend the face ones, so you'll kind of see those as we go. But I have to say overall, especially when it comes to the face brushes, I'm super impressed. There's a lot to choose from, a lot of different sizes and styles, and they don't shed. I haven't had one issue with that so far. They really hold their shape. They perform like my high-end brushes. That brings me to the first surprise of this video, which is that I'm going to be giving away an entire Morphe brush roll just like this one, plus a little kit that has a sponge and a couple other different types of applicators in it. For some reason, when Morphe sent me this PR package, they sent me 2 of them, and I don't know if that was intentional or not intentional. Sometimes brands do that because they want you to give one away, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I'll go ahead and just leave a link for that giveaway down in the description box. You're not gonna have to do anything other than just send me your email and your name, and I won't make you follow me on social media or anything like that. I feel like those kind of giveaways are super annoying. So it's just a link to a Google form that you can fill out really quick. And there will be more giveaways in this video, so stay tuned as we keep going. So next, let's talk about the new Dior Hydra Nude Foundation. I bought this recently, and this was my very first makeup purchase of 2025. I've been trying to be really good. Some of you may know if you watch my video at the beginning of the year, I talked about putting myself on a budget. So I'm on kind of a low buy, and I'm trying not to spend too much money. So I feel like we're halfway through January, and this is the first thing I bought. So I'm doing pretty well this month. Not to mention, I know this is really expensive. It's a $57 foundation, but I did use $50 worth of Ulta points on it, so I ended up paying $7. So for me, this was an amazing deal. And honestly, this was the one thing that launched recently that I was truly interested in. Like, this was something I really wanted to buy. So this is supposed to be like skincare mixed with foundation. It sounds like a dream for somebody with dry skin like mine. It has hyaluronic acid and glycerin in the formula, and it claims to have medium coverage with a second skin-like finish, which is pretty much exactly what I look for in a foundation. I got mine in the shade Too Cool Rosy, which is for light skin with cool pink undertones. Now, like most foundations that launch these days, I think this one looks a little bit peachy. It's not a perfect match, but I don't think it's too far off. So anyway, this foundation is absolutely stunning. I'm gonna show you just a clip of me applying it. I am honestly really glad I bought it, and I don't say that very often when it comes to high-end or luxury items. For the price, they really need to blow me away, and this one did. It's super lightweight. It's not quite a serum texture, but it's thin enough that it sinks right into my face like a second skin, and the finish is perfect. It's not glowy, there's not sparkle or sheen, but it's also not dewy or sticky, and it dries down right away, but at the same time, it's not drying or matte. It's one of the most perfectly balanced foundations that I've tried in a while. It has a really similar texture to Estee Lauder's Double Wear, but it's more hydrating than Double Wear. So it feels just like that going on, but it has more moisture in the formula. I would say the coverage with the brush that I'm using is about medium, but it can be built up a little bit if you need it to. And by the way, this is the Morphe M103 Angled Cream and Liquid Foundation Brush, and it is so nice. It's really similar to the BK Beauty one that I have that's angled. This one's a little bit smaller and and it gives a little bit more precision than the BK Beauty one. That one's kind of big and chunky, but overall, like the feel and just how dense the bristles are, it's just really similar. So I do really like that. But honestly, getting back to the foundation, it's so natural looking. I feel like it has that invisible look of a skin tint, but with more coverage, and it's not greasy like a lot of skin tints are, but yet it's hydrating. It's really just a perfect mix of all the things that I want in a foundation. If I had to pick something negative about it, I would say that it's probably that there's fragrance in here. It's kind of further down on the ingredient list, and it's not like a super strong, like in your face kind of fragrance. I only notice it when I'm first putting it on, but then I don't smell anything. So I just wanted to mention that for anybody who might be sensitive to fragrance, but overall I am loving this. And there's one foundation other than Double Wear that I think this is kind of similar to, and that's the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow. So they almost have like the same name. They have a lot of the same claims. This one also claims to be like a skincare and foundation hybrid. They both have the hyaluronic acid and the glycerin, but I will say the Makeup Forever, the difference between these two is that the Makeup Forever is thicker. It's a little bit more dewy. It feels more like skincare going on, or almost like a BB cream type of texture, where this one is a little bit more fluid and it sinks into the skin faster. So I think it's just really like a personal preference thing, but both of these are great for drier skin. I think they both have like a pretty solid medium coverage. If I had to pick one, I think I prefer the Dior. I think this has slightly more coverage and it's also a little bit thinner. So this one, like I said, it's thicker. It just takes a little more to blend it into your skin, but I love this formula too. So I can't really complain about either one. I think they're both really nice. I did wear the Dior again today, and this time I applied it with a sponge just to see if there was a difference. And I definitely think today I got a little bit less coverage than I did when I used the brush. And that's pretty typical when you use a sponge to apply foundation. I think it shears it out a little. And I also felt like my skin looks a little bit dewier today than it did the other day when I used a brush. There's just a tiny little bit more glow happening, but it still dried down the same. It didn't stay sticky or dewy or anything. So overall, I am really happy with this. I mean, I'm even more happy that I got it for $7, but if I were to repurchase it, I definitely would at the full price, knowing what I know now and how beautiful this is on my skin. I think this is one of those rare luxury products that I just feel like is worth the money. It really is such a gorgeous finish. So anyway, let's move on to some other face products. I got a new primer and setting spray from Colourpop. So this is the Pretty Fresh Set It Up Primer and the Pretty Fresh Lock It In Setting Spray. So when I first got these in PR, I was kind of like, it's a primer and a setting spray. Like, it wasn't the most exciting thing ever, but then I tried them and I actually really, really like these. So I'm gonna start with the primer. This has a really creamy kind of gel-like texture, and it says that it has peptides in the formula, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, but I just want to show you, it goes on white and it just has like this gel cream sort of finish. And when I first tried this, this reminds me so much of the Cali Ray one. It's called the So Blown Primer. That's one of my favorite pore smoothing primers. I've been using that one for a while. I know I've recommended it several times on my channel, and this one feels almost identical. And then when I went to go look that up, that one also has similar claims. It also has the niacinamide and the peptides, and it's supposed to, you know, be a pore blurring primer. It pretty much, like, word for word almost had the same type of claims. But that one's $36 and this one is $12. So I figured this might be Colourpop's kind of like version of that one. And I really wanted to show you guys a before and after. I know it can be really hard to see in this camera because I have like all the lighting and everything. But I took an extreme close-up of my face with my phone before applying the primer and then after. And I want to quickly show you the difference there. I think it actually is pretty noticeable. There's no filter on this photo whatsoever, but it almost looks like there is because the pores in the skin in the after look so much softer. And I was really impressed with how soft and smooth my face felt after using this as well. It is just so silky. Like, I put it on my hand just now and it's amazing. It doesn't leave any tackiness behind. It dries down and your face is just like this super slick, silky canvas. I've been wearing it all week. I feel like every foundation I put on top of this feels really nice. It goes on smooth. Nothing is pilling on top of it. So I actually really like this primer. And I think if you're a fan of the Cali Ray one, you won't notice a lot of difference between that one and this one, I think. I feel like they're really, really similar. And also, I wanted to quickly share the new setting spray. Again, this is called the Lock It In setting spray. This is also $12, and it has the peptides and the niacinamide again. So it's supposed to be kind of like the skincare slash setting spray in one. And I know Cali Ray also does have a setting spray like this with niacinamide in it. So I don't know if they're just kind of trying to dupe their line or not. I haven't actually tried that one, but I love the mister on this. I just want to show me putting it on really quick. It's a super fine mist and it doesn't deposit all of those droplets all over your face. It feels really nice going on. And I think one of the things I love the best about this is that it feels very natural. Like the finish isn't too glowy and dewy, and it's also not a mattifying setting spray. It really just looks like your skin when you're done. It does give a tiny bit of hydration, but I know sometimes I use certain setting sprays and my skin just looks like I wet it down. This doesn't look like that at all. When you put it on, it just feels like nice and refreshing, and I've definitely noticed a difference over the last week that I've been using this, that my makeup is lasting longer. Now, granted, it is wintertime and I don't really have much of an issue with makeup melt living here in the Northeast. It's been super cold and really dry in here. So I would have to really put this to the test in the summer to let you know if it truly helps my makeup to last a long time. So far so good with that. All right, next up I wanted to talk about some new Flush Balm Shades that Merit just came out with recently. They sent these to me in PR also, and I was super excited to see them. I really like this formula because it's super goof proof and really easy to use. These are really sheer and they blend out easily, so if you aren't super comfortable using cream blushes, especially the more pigmented ones like Rare Beauty, these are so simple. You just swipe them on and you can blend with your finger like really fast. You can use a brush, a sponge, whatever, but they just kind of melt right in and they're sheer. You can build them up if you want more color, but you can totally leave them sheer if you just want like a little hint of color. So here's a look at the new shades that they came out with. These are all very like neutral wearable colors. And like I said, they do sheer out considerably when you blend them, but they can be built up for more payoff. So they're really versatile. And Merit is known for really simple, easy, no makeup. And I find that these fit the vibe perfectly. They have more of like a satiny finish. It's not too glowy, but it's not matte either. So they leave your cheeks very slightly dewy. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick peek at the new shades that they launched because they're really beautiful. But if these are not in your budget and you're looking for something that's a little bit less expensive, I wanted to also mention the new ones that Moira came out with. These are called the Soft Blush Balm. The formula and packaging is almost identical. I mean, they were definitely going for a dupe here, but I wanted to go through the shades that I had in the Moira blushes and see how they compared to the Merit shades. So first up, we have the shade Terracotta from Merit. I compared this to the two lighter shades from Moira, All That and Lucky Me. Both of those are more peachy, while the Merit is more brown. So there really isn't a dupe for that one, unfortunately. Next, we have Merit's Lusitano shade, which is a pale peach, and I compared this to Moira's Lost in Love and Dreamer. I think Lost in Love is a bit brighter and more coral, but Dreamer is super close, and I think it would look the same when it's blended out on your cheeks. Next, we have Archival from Merit. This is such a beautiful soft mauve, one of my favorite colors, and I compared it to Talk to Me and Oh My from Moira. I think Talk to Me is probably the closest, but it is a bit warmer, so I don't think there are any exact dupes for Archival either. Next up, we have the hot pink shade Le Bon Bon, and we have Moira's Baby Girl, Sweet on You, and Fair Play. Again, I don't think any of them are exact, but I do compare it with the purple shade on my cheeks in a clip that'll play for you guys in a minute, so you can see how that, blended out, they look pretty much the same. And then we have the rosy brown shade Bespoke with Moira's Love Core. I think Bespoke is slightly rosier while Love Core is more brown, but I'll also be showing you these two on my cheeks in a minute as well. And then last but not least, we have the shade Postmodern from Merit and Love Bitten from Moira. These are also pretty close, but the Moira version leans a little bit more purple and Postmodern leans a little bit more red. So the other day I wanted to try the shade Le Bon Bon from Merit, and I put that on one cheek and Baby Girl from Moira on the other, and I'm applying them with the Morphe 204 blush brush, which is meant for creams, and I absolutely love this brush. It is so nice. It's really soft and precise, super easy to use. So anyway, I felt like both blushes went on pretty much the same. They felt the same. They started out sheer but can be built up on your cheeks. They also had the same finish. The formula's super close, and these colors, once they were blended out, also looked really, really close. Then for today's look, I actually used the shade Bespoke from Merit, and that's that beautiful rosy brown. And on the other side, I applied Moira's Love Core. So even though it's not quite as rosy in a swatch, once they're on your skin, it is so hard to tell the difference, and I think it's just because of how sheer these are. It makes it really hard to tell the difference from one to the other. So anyway, I'm super grateful to Merit for sending these blushes my way, and I don't mean to like steer you guys toward another brand or anything, but I know that there's some of you that are just not willing or able to pay $30 for a blush, so I always want to give you guys options just in case, but I do really love both formulas, and I think there are differences when it comes to the shades. So I think, you know, the Merit collection as a whole is a little bit more neutral, wearable colors, and the Moira side has some more like fun pops of color. So I think it really just depends on what speaks to you more. Next up, Colourpop sent me the new Twilight collab. So this is the New Moon collection, and I didn't take this out of the box because I'm not going to be swatching it this video. Normally I do review Colourpop's new collections that come out, but with this one, I actually wanted to do a giveaway because when I saw all of the colors and everything that was included, I just know myself and I know that I am not going to get much use out of this. In the past, I've always reviewed things just for the sake of it, and then I never touch the products again. And I'm trying to get better about that because I don't want to create too much waste and just have so many things around in my room that I know I'm not going to use. So I figured this could go to someone who really loves this color story and would get a lot of use out of it. So if that's you, be sure to click the link down below to head over to the giveaway. In the collection, we have a palette. There are multi-chrome eyeshadow sticks. There are super shock shadows that look really beautiful. There's lip kits. There's a shimmering body oil. There's a bunch of really pretty stuff. Like I said, I just feel like I have so many warm tone palettes that look really similar to this. And like today, for example, I'm wearing the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. And I know that this one doesn't look exactly the same, but I got this a couple of months ago and I used it like twice. And I just feel like I should get more use out of the things that I already have in my collection than take on another warm palette that I know I'm not going to wear it very often. And that one has more of like the yellow and red colors that I wouldn't even touch. So just knowing myself, I know that I probably wouldn't use it, although I can appreciate it from afar. It does look really pretty. And to be honest with you, I'm not even a Twilight fan anyway, so I can't even claim the nostalgia thing. Next up, Too Faced has re-released their pillow balms. And I think they used to be called the Hangover Pillow Balms. Now they're just called Pillow Balm Ultra Hydrating and Nourishing Lip Treatment. So I guess they just kind of removed the hangover part of it. But anyway, I did buy one of the new ones to try because this formula has been recommended to me over and over again. A lot of you really love these, and I wanted to try one just to see what they were all about. I know that even though they're coming in new packaging now, it's supposedly the exact same formula as before, but they actually do have some new colors, I think. So I ended up getting the Berry Jam one, and they smell like the name. So this one has a really nice berry scent, and I have to say the formula is nice. It's very balmy, it's very silky. It's not like a gloss, and it's also not like a lip oil. It's a little bit thicker than an oil, but it's not super shiny like a gloss. So it really feels more like a liquid balm. It has that really cushiony feel, more of a satin finish on your lips. It's very, very pretty, and it does feel extremely hydrating and nourishing. But one of the things that kind of took me by surprise the first time I used this is that it tingles. I wasn't expecting that because it's supposed to be more of a lip treatment, and I tend to associate things things that tingle with products that are going to irritate my lips. I believe these contain menthol, so that's probably what I'm feeling. It's not like a super intense burning or anything like that. They're not supposed to be a plumping formula, but that little like minty tingle is in there, and that's not really my favorite. But again, I know a ton of people love these, and even though I bought this one shade, and by the way, I bought it at the end of December, so this doesn't go towards my purchases for this month, but anyway, after I purchased that, Too Faced did send me a whole bunch of different ones. So I have Watermelon Kiss, the original clear one, Ice Crystal, Pink Pineapple, and Banana Kiss. So I thought I'd do a giveaway with these two because I do have this one shade. This was the one that I was the most interested in, and I don't see myself wearing it very often because of the menthol. So be sure to check the link down in the description box. So anyway, guys, those are all of the new things that I have right now. I hope that you found this video helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these products down in the comments below. I always love chatting with you guys. And if you have some extra time and you'd like to watch an additional video, I'll put something right up there that you could check out next. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.